everyone, this is Julie, Mrs. Tortellino, apparently. He's asked me to pick some beans today. He wants to do something with fresh beans, and I'm very excited because I've grown these borlotti beans for the first time. So I'm looking for some nice fat pods. Look at them, they're so pretty. You might remember I showed this earlier in the season when it was just a frame, and this is exactly what I wanted it to look like. Let's have a look. Ta-da! Look at those.
Oh, they look lovely.
Beautiful. I'm really pleased, they look super. This is actually the first time I've picked any. You either pick them now and have them cooked in something like a pasta, or you let them grow until probably the beginning of October until they dry out, and then I'm going to store them in a jar so we can have them in the winter. So I planted these, which are the tall French bean style, and then the short borlotti beans, which are these short ones, which only get so tall, back in early May, I think, when the risk of frost was nearly over in the UK, but we had a lousy spring, so wherever you are, you might have got away with it earlier. Ciao, ciao for now.
And ciao ciao for now indeed, Julie. I'm now peeling the beans, and look, this is how much she has given me.
Well, the problem is, I didn't have as many as I thought I'd have on my
Yeah,
on
she was really mean, and I wanted more, but she said that's all I can have. So I'll make a lovely pasta. It's something that actually in Sicily they cook for New Year's Eve. It's a lovely creamy pasta fagioli or beans pasta, and I'll just peel them off. I'll weigh them. If I need some more, I might have to get some more, but we will see, and I'll see you in a little while. And I'm done. I've actually peeled, well, we have peeled, she has helped Julie. We have peeled just over 400 grams of fresh beans. They look lovely. I've just rinsed them under some water. That's because we've got a new pet.
Chappy boy here was inside one of the bean pods.
Yeah, look, isn't he sweet?
No, not so sweet. You need to chuck him out.
We'll chuck him out. We'll not chuck him out. We will gently place him outside.
We can put him in actually in the tortoise enclosure, because then they eat all the debris. No, they do. They eat the debris in the soil.
Oh, the debris. I thought the tortoise was going to eat him.
There's a reason for them.
Anyway, we will let him free otherwise, and then he will be responsible for his own life. And I got all my vegetables ready, and this is going to be a very easy and quick recipe, so I'll very briefly run you through the ingredients. I've chopped some celery, a couple of sticks of celery, and I've left a little bit whole for later. I'll show you why. 300 grams of plum tomatoes, which I have halved, 1 chili pepper, a couple of medium-sized red onions, chopped very finely. This is carrots, a couple of medium-sized carrots, yes, from Julie's garden. And by the way, Julie's got another pet. Yes. I left this on purpose. This is a rabbit that is doing a head in.
Yeah, can't catch this rabbit. It's just merrily eating its way through my vegetable stock, but never mind.
I like him or her. I think he's become part of the family.
What with that and the slugs, it's not
the slugs. Anyway, we will put this in the bin. I will be cooking bitaloni. This is an Italian pasta. I brought it back from Italy, but you can cook any short pasta. You can use conchiglia, ideally with beans, or you can use also macaroni, whatever you like. But avoid long pasta would be my recommendation.
And do a little close up of the beans.
Salt, pepper, and of course, it goes without saying, olive oil. Here I've got some vegetable stock which was left from something else I cooked, and I will be adding a little bit more hot water, and I'll keep it hot while I'm cooking my beans. I'll explain why in a little while. If you don't have vegetable stock, you can use stock cubes, or you can just use straight water if you like, but if you can make a little vegetable stock, that will enhance the flavour considerably. And last but not least, a bay leaf, a nice large bay leaf. This is fresh, just picked from our garden. I'm going to be cooking my fresh beans in a cast iron pot here, and I'll add a little olive oil at the bottom, maybe more than a little. I love cooking dishes like this in cast iron because they retain the heat considerably. They're also more economical to run, and they are ideal for beans or anything like lentils, anything that needs to be cooked long and slow, ideal. And I'll add my onions first. And just a very quick mix to ensure that they're covered in oil. Chili pepper next. This is a small chili pepper, but it's medium in terms of its heat. And I'm gonna chop it in half again, and I'll do it in pieces. And as it is medium in flavor, I will put it in seed included. I'll turn the temperature down now onto a medium high, number 6 out of 9 in my case. If you've got a gas hob, medium, because they're a little bit more powerful, or even medium to low. And I'll leave them to sizzle now for maybe a minute and a half. Bay leaf goes in next, followed by my chopped celery. And I'm adding a little salt now to get some of the water out of the vegetables. And after a good couple of minutes, I'm happy to add the carrots. And before I go any further, I'm squeezing the life out of the last of a tube of tomato puree. So a couple of teaspoons equivalent should be enough, really. Reason for the tomato puree is because it will add a little colour, but also a little bit of sweetness flavour to the whole thing. Not a lot, but just enough. And after the tomato puree, I can add the tomatoes. A little bit more salt now that I've added the tomatoes. And of course some pepper. And I'm going to mix everything together, and it's already beginning to look really nice. Ironically, the strongest smell at the moment is from the bay leaf. They are quite remarkable, the amount of flavour that they release, so highly recommend it. A couple of minutes after I've added my tomatoes, I'm ready to add the beans. I'll just put them in and I'll mix everything together once again. Fresh beans, the way you cook fresh beans is different to dry beans. I normally, if I was to cook dry beans, I would have actually started them from cold with cold water, whereas actually I'm adding them now, and I will be adding some hot water in a moment. Different way of cooking. Also, it is a real treat for me. It is something that not very often I get hold of beans in this country, hence Julie growing them. But when I was a little boy, my grandparents, or indeed my uncles, used to grow them. And in the summer they used to be quite a staple thing for us to have, and I'm hoping to replicate a little bit of that recipe. So the beans have been in now for a good couple of minutes, and they are nice and hot, and this is time when I can add hot water. So actually in my case it's a mixture of water and stock. Important that if you're cooking fresh beans that you use boiling hot water once the beans are hot. If you put cold water they will turn black, believe it or not, so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing today. And that is my last ladle. I put enough, 1 to 2 centimeters above the top of my vegetables and beans, so I think I've got enough there. And only now I will be adding my little celery head or flour stick, and this will add a slightly different flavor to the whole meal than the celery we fried, so that goes in now. So everything is come to the boil again, and you can see there are little bubbles coming up. So I'll place my little wooden spoon in here, and I'll lodge the lid on, and I'll turn it down to medium low, again most probably number 3. I'll do it now, otherwise I'll forget, out of 9, for a good 45 minutes, maybe up to an hour, but I'll check it and I'll let you know once it's done how long it took. So I'll see you then. And they took 1 hour and 5 minutes, and they're perfect. Ready to cook the pasta. I'm reheating my leftover vegetable water, and I'm adding some water from my kettle which I've just boiled. Little salt once again. And my Ditaloni pasta, 200 grams goes in. I mentioned at the beginning that this was going to be a creamy beans pasta, and this is the next step to make it lovely and creamy. Look at that lovely color. Don't forget, by the way, to remove the bay leaf. I'm going to pinch 3 ladles of my beans, and 1 ladle of this lovely juice. Little hand blender, or you could use a food processor, and I'll blend away. And that looks really nice.
Looks lovely.
And this is a lovely and thick consistency. Don't forget to come back to your pasta and give it a little mix, otherwise it'll get stuck together. And my pasta is ready. And I'm using a draining spoon to move it into a bowl, but of course you can also drain it if you like. Followed by my cream. And I'll give it a good mix together now. And this is the creamy part dealt with. I'll serve some in a little bowl, and the magic is about to happen. I'm going in and I'm picking some of the lovely beans and vegetables together, including some of the broth. By the way, you can make this with sausages as well, or bacon, or both. If you fancy some meat, I would not use beef, stick to pork. But the time to add that is immediately prior to putting the tomatoes. So put the sausages or bacon or both and let them sizzle for a couple of minutes, and then you carry on as normal, and that will give a different flavor. But if you were to put meat such as pork or bacon or whatever, put some rosemary as well, because rosemary goes really well with pork. I didn't clearly here because it's a simpler recipe and it's a vegetarian one. We do have quite a lot of vegetarian dishes, so I'm sticking to vegetarian today. Although you can stop now, I highly recommend olive oil, raw olive oil. It will really enhance the flavor of your dish. Not a lot, just a little. And another optional ingredient, but yet again highly recommended, Parmesan cheese. Again, not a lot, but it will really complement the dish lovely. Just a little shower. I'll mix it all together, and I'll pick a little pasta and a little beans and carrots. Look great.
So easy to eat, this one. This spoon.
Yeah, really looking forward
Kids
to
used
that.
to eat that a lot when they were little.
It's really good. The little chili pepper I put in is perfect. It's got a little kick, but what is really great is the beans. They're fresh beans, and they have a different flavor to the normal dry beans. I love dry beans as well, but this is a real treat. They taste almost like freshness, summer, because they are sort of a summer dish. And as I said, they make it also for New Year's Eve. Clearly, they somehow keep the fresh beans, and it is absolutely beautiful, creamy and delicious. So I'm really pleased with it. Thank you for watching, and make it. You will not be disappointed. Ciao ciao, arrivederci, grazie.